if you've seen my Instagram lately, you know that I'm trying to be very open about my neuromuscular disorder and how it seems to be getting worse. The doctors have told me it seems to be progressing a lot here lately. It has been it's been quite the winter for me. I've had a lot of issues, and if you saw my picture without my makeup, then you understand how frustrating it can be when it starts to present, because I literally look like I have some kind of disease. So I've got on a lot of makeup right now to cover up. What it is RSD, reflex sympathetic dystrophy. It is basically causing my left leg to atrophy. I'm going crippled slowly. A lot of that is due to I had an axe thrown at me that struck me that smashed the bones and nerve bundles in my left foot and ankle, which made me ground out my knee when I've had so many surgeries that I'm bone on bone, and there's really nothing else I can do until I have a total knee replacement, but they're hesitant to do that because RSD is basically your nerves don't respond to trauma correctly, and so if I get a shot, my arm will swell up like I've been in a car accident, and if I get a paper cut, it act like somebody tried to chop it off with another axe. It doesn't respond correctly. It's spread to my digestive organs and my pancreas, and so lots of times when it decides to flare up internally, I end up in the hospital for a couple of weeks. Because it is affecting my pancreas, I do not have a very good prognosis. And all that sucks, but it really makes you look at life in a different way and really learn to speak your piece and say what you need to say. And I've always been one that kind of did that anyway, but I'm learning to do it even more now with these new stressors that are upon me. If I'm going to leave words in the world, I want them to be truthful, honest, and meaningful, and I want to say what I need to say. And so I'm trying to be honest. I'm trying to show you what it's like to be disabled, and I will throw in my picture here so you can see it. It's not pretty, but that's how I know a flare is coming on. And the last 2 days, my left leg has been very swollen. It likes to change colors. Purple and piebald are its favorite things to be. I have a lot of circulation issues when that occurs. I had a lot of trauma in my back and my neck. I've had a rough life, y'all. I've been a farmhand, worked cattle, horses, and had some trauma in my line of work. I've had some scuffles in the prisons, and I've got some scarring in my left lung from pepper spray incident. That was a horrible thing to have to go through. But when you're a parole officer, it just comes with the job. And then I, have done, my husband doesn't like work with horrible occupational hazards. It's not true, but I guess maybe it kind of is. But I wouldn't have gone to school for all those years had I known I was going to then end up with this disorder. It took them 6 years to diagnose me because it started like MS or lupus, but all of the tests would always come back negative. And I started having a lot of muscle issues, and I did a lot of weightlifting, so they thought I had just overburdened my petite frame. And they just told me that I was lucky that I hadn't put any more muscle on my petite frame. Put about as enough as I needed to, I guess. It hurts. So it took them 6 years to figure out what was wrong with me. As soon as they put the name on it, the agency that I worked for was like, "You're a liability, we want you gone." And in a flash, I had been the top most respected person, employee, the best officer I could be, and in a flash I was a liability, and they wanted me gone. So boom, I had to leave that work immediately because I supervised violent offenders and murders. They didn't want me not being able to defend myself. I understand, but at the same time, I had never put myself in a position to have to be worried because I can talk my way out of anything. I'm so good with people. I never had anyone truly be aggressive with me, and I had great respect and rapport with my working caseload. And it was just like, it was unnecessary, but it was a bad split. I finished out because I did the cognitive behavioral therapy for that job as well. I just transitioned and started doing counseling. Because of my master's in psychology, I can do counseling under a licensed professional, so I just went and did independent and group counseling. I actually worked with youth that were in state's custody that also had addictions. And I worked there until the hospitalizations were just so numerous that it was like, look, I can't be consistent. Consistency is key for people in therapy. I've got to bow out and go home. I then went through about 3 years of trying to find work at home. Let me tell you, I have tried everything, and because of where I live, mixed with the one internet provider and the logistics of it, I just couldn't find anything. So eventually last year I did find a little bit of transcription work that I could do. So every once in a while I get a transcription job, but I'm starting to have tremors in my hands. And so we're starting to have issues with my ability to do that. Plus I've had some hospitalizations and some really big health issues lately that have made me wonder. That is my dog barking because he had to kennel while I did this video. It made me wonder if I could keep her rolling. I didn't want her agency, her business, that's Oscar being a booger. I didn't want her agency falling behind because of me. So I'm taking a break because I've had a progression in my RSD, and it's really, I'm having to relearn a lot of things that I have new limitations on. So I've been in 3 flares since December 12th, and it's really, really, if you look at the McGill pain scale, it's the most painful disorder known to man. And I had my first child natural, and I would rather have a child natural every day than to go through what I go through with this disorder. So I'm going to start talking more about this, but there was a young man that said some very hurtful things the other morning. And they think because I can get on here and I can do a 6 to 10 minute video that I must be living large and I have a good life. But what they don't understand is after I do the 6 to 10 minute video, I lay down to edit it because my legs have to be above my heart. And then I may not get up for 4 or 5 hours because I'm jet lagged. My body doesn't work. When I am up, I'm normally on a rolly cart to walk because I never know when my legs are going to give and I have to sit down. It's embarrassing. They want me to have an at-home nurse, but my insurance keeps fussing about the cost and the price. So I just make do. My husband works long shifts. He works 6 to 7 days a week. So I make do. And most of the time I make do by limiting what I do myself and planning around his time frame at work and when he's going to be home or when he's going to have a day off. And it's getting more and more difficult as things advance. But just because somebody can come on here and do a 6 to 10 minute video, it does not mean that they have 24 hours a day that they feel good. The other morning, because this affects my digestive system, the other morning I woke up at 4 a.m. sick, afraid that it had thrown me into pancreatitis again. And luckily I was just sick, and it had just affected my digestive system enough to make it swell and become really agitated. And once it emptied, it calmed down. I took the medicine for the swelling internally, and I felt better. And I rested the rest of the day, and I did okay. But, you know, it's I've been out once since December 12th. Once. Right now, most of my visits and specialist appointments are done via video because they don't want to chance me going out because of my health and because of my immune system being so compromised. I'm amazed I stay as sane as I do, and a lot of that is because I know what to look for when I start to break down. I try to compensate, reach out, do support. Even a video helps when I'm having a bad day, just knowing that I have a few extra voices out there that can give me feedback, because sometimes I do need feedback. Sometimes they need to, hey Liz, you're looking kind of rough. Hey Liz, are you doing okay? This seems off. And I welcome that feedback. But just because somebody can do a video does not mean that they can work, I was working 70 hours a week. When I was counseling from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and I was doing 3-hour group sessions along with independent assessments and evaluations and independent counseling. And I busted my butt, and because I'm so rural, I would have to drive like 2 to 3 hours every day to get to work and get home. And so I'm so restricted, and I'm so restricted because of where I live and the mountains, the internet that doesn't want to work, the one provider that has a monopoly that doesn't want to make their services better. And even if I had all of these things that worked, because of my health being up and down, and me not being able to gauge it because my body responds to stimuli, I never know how it's going to happen. I could literally be in a car wreck tomorrow, my body would be like, dude, chill, we're good. I could stub my toe, and everything weighs down would swell. It doesn't respond. I don't have control. And I am so OCD, type A. So to not have control it really freaks me out sometimes. But I'm going to start being more honest to let you all know what it's like to be me. so that I don't hide all the time and show you just the good stuff. So we're going to start doing real Mama Liz moments about RSD and living a disabled life, and kind of what it looks like, the ways it sucks and the way it doesn't suck, and honestly, it pretty much all sucks. But get ready. We're gonna get real up in this sauce. I mean, it's you're probably gonna laugh at me some days for what I choose to share, but at this point, I don't care. At this point, it's more important for me to show the truth and be a voice, because this is the most under-researched diagnosis. This is the most, there's so few specialists for this. We have so few care options, and as soon as doctors hear those 3 letters, they want to shove us out the door, because they know it's a gamble to treat us, because they know it's the great unknown. I only know 2 other people that have this that live in like a 5-county rotation of me, and we try to stay up with each other. And I only have a mild to moderate case of this. I know some people that have been wheelchair bound from the moment they were diagnosed. I'm getting a slow ease into this, so I should probably be thanking Jesus that I'm getting slowly trained into this. It doesn't mean it sucks any less, and it doesn't mean that I would change it if I could. I really thought at this point I would be doing forensic psychology issues with the prison system to incorporate new tactics for housing inmates that were violent, had violent tendencies. I didn't get there. And I had so many ideas and so many desires to change the way that we house our inmate population and treat them. So y'all are the next best thing. If I can share a little bit of wisdom, give you something to laugh at, or make you think about things in a different light before you act on it, make you slow down and go internal for a second and hold yourself accountable and respond to people in a better way, or be real with yourself and have a real opinion that you stand behind and know why you have those opinions, and share your voice appropriately. That's what I want to do. So get ready, y'all. We're going to start studying the life of Liz with RSD. It's going to suck. A lot. Bye, y'all.